the whole world at our feet, watching seasons change. Our roads were lined with adventure, mountains in the way couldn't keep us from the sea. Here we stand open arms. This is home where we are, ever strong in the world that we made. I
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Let's see if this actually works, and I think it does. So let me know in the chat if you can actually hear me, and we can get going with today's live stream. So today we are going to do something out of the ordinary, or maybe not really super out of ordinary, depending on how you look at it. I'm going to try to do a HackTheBox machine, one of the HackTheBox machines they have there. Now, this is something I actually wanted to do for a long time. Even Foxtrot Charlie actually already had, the negotiation complete with HTB folks for a retired machine live streaming over a year ago, but I never had the time to do the setup, to play with the machines and so on, until, well, I want to say until now, but that's not fully the truth. Until both now and until they actually developed something which is called a PwnBox. A PwnBox is basically a virtual machine where I can connect to the desktop of a virtual machine and everything there is configured and I can hack from there. So this saved me a lot of time figuring out again how a VPN works and setting it up. So yeah, I have a complicated IP situation on my machine, so getting a VPN works is always a little bit tricky with all the routings and so on. So yeah, so the stars basically aligned and we can do HTB finally on this live stream, which I'm super happy about. Now, there are a couple of things I need to say, but before we get there, I would like to thank Foxtrot Charlie for being my moderator here today. Thank you, Foxtrot, for being here. Folks, if you have any questions, you can type !Q and then the question on YouTube chat, Discord chat, or IRC chat, wherever you are, or you can type @Foxtrot Charlie and pass the question to Foxtrot Charlie and it will appear in my question panel because I have on one of my monitors a question panel basically. So yeah, there we go. Now, what I need to say, let me think. Okay, first of all, I think I need to mention that while this isn't fully a sponsored video, the HTB folks actually gave me a VIP account. So yeah, it's like, I'm not getting paid for it, but on the other hand, I do not have to pay for it either. So I think you might consider this some kind of a product placement in this case. Having that said, the thing I'm a little bit worried about is that HTB is a little bit different from CTFs. There have been a lot of CTFs on this channel, including like crazy 4-hour runs where I was solving each and every challenge from Google CTF and so on. Now, the difference between a CTF and the HTB from my perspective is, and this is coming from somebody who solved one machine on HTB in their life, so your perspective might be different, but my perspective is that HTB machines are mostly similar to what pen testing looks like, or like red teaming, but more pen testing, I would say. Which means it's the balance of hands-on skill is placed a little bit differently than CTFs. And CTFs, that's more like a vulnerability research, basically. CTF is a competition where you get O-days and you have to find O-days. You get source code or binaries and whatnot, and you have to find O-days, get an exploit, like write an exploit, and make it stable enough to hack the, hack the box once and then get the flag, right? So that's a CTF. Now, pen testing works differently because on pen testing, you actually care about existing and known vulnerabilities as well. In vulnerability research, you don't. Because in vulnerability research, you are looking for new vulnerabilities, for ones which are unknown, which people don't know what exist. So everything which is known, that's basically material for like educational material, but nothing more. While in pen testing, this is like the daily bread and butter. Well, if somebody has an old version of a software, why not use an exploit for that old version, right? So something which is interesting in pen testing might not be interesting in vulnerability research. The other way around is not fully true because on pen test you also do to some extent vulnerability research as well. Maybe not as deep as usually it goes in vulnerability research because unless the client pays enough, obviously, because otherwise you have a week to try to hack into 10 hosts or 100 hosts or 1000 hosts. There's just no time for vulnerability research there usually. There is to some extent, obviously, right? But tools like Metasploit, for example, come into play a lot, or Venom, come into play a lot in pen tests. and scanners like Nmap and so on, and they are absolutely useless in vulnerability research and in pen testing. Maybe not absolutely, you can still use Metasploit to help you a bit with like the final step of the exploit. Like instead of writing the reverse shell for the 100th time, you just like tell Metasploit to do it. But that's about it. Which means I'm coming from a world where I have no idea how to use Metasploit. I've run Metasploit once or twice in my life, and that's basically to look at the UI. And in HTB, it, from what I know, and again, I might be mistaken due to lack of experience, it's something more common to use these kind of tools, to use pentesting tools basically, and to have a pentester approach. Which means I'm going to struggle, folks, today a lot. I'm going to basically be really, really bad at HTB, and this is expected. Because I'm not used to using this kind of approach. I might also sometimes want to just find a bug instead of just looking it up, but I will try to remember, have in my head that, hey, it's okay to find a vulnerability which was like an old vulnerability and to use it, and to use an existing exploit. I do not have to actually, find an O-day and exploit it from an O-day perspective, which, again, like, if you look at CTFs, especially the Zajebiste category, that's especially what you have to do there. Cool. So having that out of the way, I'm going to start the main topic around 10 past, maybe 15 past. And before we get there, I'm going to, I guess, go to tell you about, I don't know, what do I have to tell you about today? Are there any news I have to give you? There are probably some news, but I'm kind of running short on news. Oh, I know. Let's go to this one. Let's see if the link works, and I will show it to you in a moment. Okay, so there's this conference I'm co-organizing, Pwning, and it's actually a Polish conference. It's a small Polish conference, mostly in Polish. That being said, if you're a programmer, we are looking for talks also in English about general programming, because the audience is going to be mixed programmers, like coming from, every technology and framework imaginable. So yeah, we are looking basically for topics which are a mix, or rather would be interested for a mixed audience. That's what I'm trying to say. The CFP is, the call for papers is still open until the end of August. So if you're interested, please let me know. I'm going to give you the links, because why not? And the CFP for the security and hacking track already ended, but if you have like a great idea for a talk, then like ping me anyway. Cool. So that's that. Now let's do questions before, like, until 15 past, and then we can start with HTB. Okay, so question should appear here, like downstairs here. Okay. Will there be a live stream of you participating in a CTF or HTB? If you mean an ongoing CTF or an HTB which is live, which is not retired, then the answer is no. Because, well, for cheating reasons, basically. A CTF is a competition, that's a tournament, right? And you're going heads to heads against other teams, and you shouldn't be broadcasting how to solve a challenge live while the tournament is up, because that just, like, well, it's unfair. That's, like, I don't think we need to say anything more, right? And it's also not good for your team. And, well, given that, I'm a player for Dragon Sector, and we like to win CTFs from time to time, it would be even worse. And same with HTB. They have basically two groups of machines, if I'm not mistaken, the live ones, which are basically secret, like the solutions are secret for them, and then the retired ones where you can, for example, do a live stream about them, and I will do just that today. So no, I was thinking and considering of doing a recording of me playing a CTF, and then after the CTF publishing it, but I don't think that makes too much sense. I mean, that recording would be what, like 24 hours or 48 hours, maybe, well, minus the sleep time, minus stuff I'm working on, like, in other places. And you would only see basically part of my desktop, not even my notebook and so on. So I don't think that makes too much sense. Ridanus writes, what do you think about the future related to ARM-powered devices? Do you think the attack surface in embedded mobile IoT is much larger? No, I think actually the attack surface is the same. The thing is that in IoT, embedded and so on, but not mobile, mostly embedded in IoT, folks just don't put enough attention to security there yet. But that will be changing. It's more of a new thing, especially IoT. That's a new thing. It has been here for a couple of years, and it's growing, and then it will grow into security as well. But currently, yeah, mobile is a different story, right? I mean, both Android and iOS are pretty strict about security and getting things right. So there's that. I guess there's also like Windows Mobile, or does it still exist? Anyone knows? I have honestly no idea. I'm kind of like, I'm remembering Windows Mobile from Windows CE times, when that was ages ago, and that was really old Windowses then. Yeah, there was a old Windows version on ARM. There are also old Windows versions on other platforms, like for example Itanium. Anyway, so the future about ARM, I'm not sure. I've read something that I think, and there are some articles that NVIDIA is interested in taking over ARM architecture, which would be super interesting. So I'm curious, the future is interesting. If you write an emulator for a pretty sophisticated CPU architecture, much more complicated than chip 8, would you use jump table for opcode decoding routine or something else? Probably jump table, maybe not jump table if that doesn't make sense, but probably jump table or some kind of a jump table. It wouldn't be a straight out of jump table because you need to do some processing before you get the actual opcode type, but then yeah, probably a jump table or whatever other similar structure. It might be, for example, that you have it might be a map, like a dictionary. On the other hand, it might be a jump table where a couple of entries are extensions to the jump table, being their own jump tables in their own rights. But at the end of the day, it would be something like that. It might also be, for example, if I would be coding in C or C++, that would be sorry, my tongue is not working today, it seems. I would use basically in C or C++ a switch case, because a switch case would be compiled by the compiler to the probably most optimal structure possible. Like switch cases in C and C++, the way they are compiled is super interesting. The compiler does a lot of interesting tricks there. So maybe just that and let the compiler deal with it. It might be a jump table at the end of the day. It might be a tree of some kind. Yeah. Amina A writes, what about HTTP challenges? They are pretty similar to CTS. Yeah, that's true. I fully agree. I didn't look at them, and we are going to do a machine today, not a challenge. But yeah, from what I've seen, the challenges are pretty similar to CTFs. That's correct. That's true. Christian writes, you have hosted some Node challenges, but they are somehow hard for me, even though I know JS Node. Are there some hints or answers? Yeah, you are talking. So okay. So for folks who don't know, this is about. Okay. If you go to challenges, let's do this. Challenges. .ginveil.stream and then ports from 5001 to 5006. On 5000 there is a like general HTTP challenge, so there's another challenge there, but the Node challenges are here, and there are a couple of them. They weren't supposed to be easy. Basically, I was making them when I was reading Node.js and Express code, and I saw some weird stuff, and I turned that into a challenge. So I wasn't thinking about making easy or hard challenges. I just like saw a weird thing you could do, and I went from there with a challenge. Now, if you go to Oshogbo's blog, VX blog from Vexidium, he actually published, he published the solutions to all the challenges. I'm going to leave it here. And if you are stuck on a challenge, like, take a look, go until you actually go with a challenge until you get unstuck and then continue without the solution. Okay, we have time for one more question, so What was the most complex protocol you tried to reverse engineer or interpret or parse? The most complex protocol? That's a good question. I don't know. No, it's really hard for me to say. I know. Actually, I know. StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2, especially the replay, because I was kind of playing with reverse engineering that when the closed beta version was coming out, so nobody knew how that's compressed and so on. And we, with some friends, we wanted to make a website really early on that would allow people to upload replays and show statistics, APM, minimap, and so on. And the way some fields were encoded was really, really weird. So yeah, and that was, like, this was a closed beta, so it was really hard to even grab live packets to see and experiment with it. So yeah, that was pretty complicated to do. I know some people then actually, like, currently it's well known and so on, but at the beginning it was pretty crazy complex. Metasploit in real life pen testing. Any comments? No comments at all, because again, I am... Okay, so I've been doing pen tests in my career, but that has been, let's say, 14 to 10 years ago. And yeah, so that's pretty old stuff. And then I basically stopped doing any pen tests at all. I was doing vulnerability research then too, but I was basically continuing doing vulnerability research and code reviews and so on. So I stopped doing pen testing stuff almost at all, with 1 or 2 exceptions, which, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. Like, ask a real pen tester and they will give you a proper answer. I cannot even have arguments for this answer because I do not have knowledge for it. Cool. Okay, so there are a couple of more questions. We'll do the questions at the end of the stream. And let's play with HTB now and see what we get. Cool. So as I mentioned, I did already one machine that was tabby on HTB, but we are not going to do tabby. Let's go to here, app, hack, TheFatRat. This is the new UI. There are a couple of UIs from what I know, like to the old one and the new one. Okay, so we are here. I'm already logged in, and we can start a PwnBox. As I said, it's like a PwnBox is basically a virtual machine, a desktop, which you can open in a browser. So this saves me a lot of configuration on my machine, which is I'm super happy for, because the less I have to do, the easier for me to start. On CTS, for example, you do not have to do any configuration, so yeah, cool. I'm in Switzerland, so Germany is probably the closest, and EU probably VPN server. Okay, I don't know. Let's choose this one and let's see what happens. By the way, you need for PwnBox a VIP account. Cool. And now let's look for a machine. Where are machines? Dashboard, our machines here. Labs or machines? Oh, here. Cool. Okay, skip tutorial. Yeah, I know, like, folks are usually like spending a lot of time preparing a tutorial, and then players are just like, yeah, skip tutorial. And I remember one game I was playing, it was Battlefield 2142, I think. And like, I got the manual with the game, I installed the game, I put the manual to the side, then I jumped into the game and I had no idea whatsoever what was going on. So after like 3 minutes in the game, I turned off the game, took the manual, said sorry manual, and started reading. So I hope we don't get there. Okay, we are going only for retired machines. Okay. I don't know, OS, let's go for Linux. That's pretty surprising. I have almost no idea about pen testing on Windows. I've hacked a few Windows boxes, but on pen tests, but that was never my specialty. I did more vulnerability research than pen testing on Windows. Easy, medium, maybe. Okay. Oh, but is this inclusive? Do I need to unclick one? No machines found. Did I do status both? Did I do something wrong? Okay, let's unclick this. Probably click something wrong. Hard and medium Windows, no. Okay, did I, for example, do something wrong with... Okay, but there are... let me, give me a sec. Okay. Let's see, maybe active machines. How many active machines are there? I'm not going for active machines, but yeah, there are a lot of active machines. Are there some retired machines which are not showing? VIP retired machines. Where should I click that? Oh, the VIP tab. Where's the VIP tab? Oh, here. Okay. Do I need to click this? That's what you're saying. Click. Doesn't really work. Oh, okay. It loaded. Okay, here we go. Perfect, thank you. I did not notice I have to click this. I probably clicked this for like in the wrong. Okay, let's go again with this. Perfect, it works. Thank you, people in chat. As I told you, this is going to be painful because I've done one machine in my life before. Okay, too many. Advanced search, attack path. What's an attack path? Web. Let's do web. Injections are always fun. Let's do injections. 4.9. Let's do this one. Craft. I think it was one of the recommended for me anyway. Cool. Perfect. Span machine. $4,000 people did. Okay, so if you're new to HTTP like me, I already did one machine, so I kind of know what's the idea. The idea is that there are two flags on the system. One flag is under one of the users, and the other flag is under under root. So you have to basically, to get both flags, you have to first hack a user, usually that's the way it goes, and then hack the root, or hack the root immediately and then just read the user's flag as well, and you get it for free. Cool. Okay, now I'm getting nervous. Let's see how it goes. We have the IP address. Let me just note it, since we're going to need it. Okay, that's pretty easy to remember, I guess. A lot of ones. Cool. And now let's go to my HTTP, my PwnBox. Here, PwnBox. View details. Where do I? Okay, on pen desk. Oh, and you can see my password. Perfect. Do I need to span a new machine now? Let me check. Let me respawn the machine then, so you cannot see my password. Let's terminate. If you can write my password on the chat, please do it. I want to check if the new machine has a different password, hopefully. It was, well, you probably noticed where it was. Yeah, generated random password, that's a good thing. Okay. Now I should not fail again. HTTP123, no. It wasn't the URL, folks. It was a nice password. Okay, Tobias says that the password should be randomly generated, so yeah, I'm starting the machine. Give me a few seconds. Oh, I'm going to do the questions until the machine is actually respawned. Oh no, it's actually super fast. Wow, okay, here we go. So I have this, and I have a viewer link somewhere, spectator link copied. Okay, let's do. I have questions. No, okay, it's fine. The spectator link has a different. Here we go. This is a spectator link. There is a password here, but that's fine. You can actually enter this link, and you should be able to spectate basically. Cool. So I need to give me one more second. I actually need to move this. Where am I going to move this? I'm running out of monitors. I have only 4. I need a 5th one now. Let me switch here and move this thing here. Perfect. Okay. Okay, and now if I do something here, we can spectate it on this main window. Well, I am going to move the window a little bit here so nothing is obscured. Cool. Okay. Now, now we can go to the machine. And where's my terminal? Here's the terminal. Perfect. It's a nice configured terminal. I really like it. Can I make it a little bit bigger though? That's encoding, that's title. Let's do profile preferences and use system no. Okay, cool. Okay, perfect. So we have an IP. Let's ping the IP. 10, 10, 10, 110. Hey, it actually works. That's what I like. What does everyone do first when they find a machine? Nmap. That's something I still remember. Ports from 0 to. This is just a full scan, and I know they're like what inclusive? Well, it is inclusive. Free. Wow. I'm sorry. Please do not tell anyone I forgot was the power of 2 minus 1, 2 to the power of 16 minus 1. That would be embarrassing. Okay. Yeah. Okay, too late. Okay. Okay, we have 3 things opened. Oh, but that's interesting. There's an X server port, which is cool if we want to display something there. Or is it an X server? Then we have SSH and we have HTTPS, which is cool. Okay, let me just note it. I think I can copy paste it actually. Here we go. This is going to be useful later. Do we have NC? Let's just connect there. And again, if you came here to learn how to pen test, you're absolutely in the wrong place. I have no idea how to pen test. I'm just a vulnerability researcher. So okay, we have this nice OpenSSH banner. I know that Nmap can do it. No, I do not remember how to do it in Nmap. Doesn't matter. Okay, HTTPS, we'll play with that in a second. So this actually doesn't look like X11. This looks like another SSH. Sorry, I'm obscuring your view. This doesn't look like here. Doesn't look like X11. It looks like SSH. So let's just go there and check. Oh, SSH Go. Okay. I have no idea what's SSH Go. That's perfect. Maybe it's like the Go library, like SSH protocol implemented in some Go library. I don't know. So yeah, this is cool. HTTPS, we can just use a browser to basically connect there. So let's do that. I think there are some browsers. There's Firefox. That's cool. Okay. Thank you for installing Privacy Badger. Well, I don't think I'm going to get any privacy on a live stream. That's fine. Part security, cool. Okay, got it. We are going to enter, well, I know the IP. Why am I even going here? HTTPS 10, 10, 10, 110. Here we go. Warning, potential security risk. Perfect, I love security risks. Advanced. Unknown issuer. Okay, view certificate. Let's see what's in the certificate. Craft HTTP, Buffalo, New York. Okay. admin craft HTTP, then there's some RSA, public key, SSH, and fingerprints. Fine, whatever. Accept the risk and continue. Okay. Craft aims to be the largest repository of US produced craft brews. Oh, that kind of craft, okay. Accessible over REST. Okay. Okay. In the future, we will release a mobile app to interface with our public REST API, as well as a brew submission process. But for now, check out our API. Cool, cool. And this looks like, yeah, this looks like a CTF challenge. Familiar ground. We can go here to Gogs craft, but it says we cannot find. Okay, so here's the thing. The certificate didn't tell us anything super interesting. Let's take a look at it again. Maybe sometimes they're like. I'm sorry, I'm using Chrome normally. How do you get certificate information here? You know what? Open SSL, show this. I'm doing this in my other browser. Actually, I could do it here too. Open SSL, show certificate details. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, this one. I want to do this one. Okay. Let's switch here. Can you see this? Yes, you can see this. Connect 10, 10, 10, 110 for. Now I'm doing this for one reason. That's because a certificate can be issued for multiple domains, and it also can be issued for like asterisk dot something, but this certificate doesn't seem to be issued to multiple domains, which is weird. On the other hand, as we can see here, we are trying to connect to some Gogs craft HTTP thingy, which is probably also served by the same server, but we cannot. Okay, wait, I'm getting lost. Which mouse is my mouse? I think, okay, this mouse is mine. Perfect. Let's see if we can resolve this. Now, we cannot resolve this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do sudo su, and I'm going to edit my etc. I just etc hosts. And here I'm going to add like this Gogs as 10, 10, 10. 110, and I guess I'm going to also add the craft here. I might add different domains here as well, so that my local is not really a local DNS. It's like when you're resolving a DNS entry, then your system is usually checking this hosts file, it's checking a local cache if that's configured, and then it's starting to go to other things, like for example an external DNS server. It might also in case of Windows, it might also look for, what was it called, like WINS servers, like window name servers, which aren't really DNS, but yeah, it still does the same thing basically. Okay, so now if I do again this host command, host Gogs craft HTTP, yeah, it now, because host is probably, okay, let's do ping. Host is probably going straight for the server. Yeah, ping works. Ping resolved it correctly. So I'm guessing host is actually going straight for the external servers or the DNS cache. It doesn't care about the host file, which is weird, but okay. And we can do it again. Okay, potential security risk. Yeah, we know the certificate is incorrect. Unknown issuer, actually, that's fine. Okay, so let's go here. And we have Gogs, a painless self-hosted Git service. Okay, so this is more pen testing area than, I guess, CTF area. Let's go back to this page. What else do we see here? We see the API here. If we go to API, okay, and everything I have to add to Let me check actually if there are any other domains which I would have to add here. No, go back. Okay, here we go. Craft, home. Do we see anything else here? Let's just take a look at the... Here, at the source. Anything fun here? Any other? No, there's API, Gog. No, I think that's about it. So, okay, so I'm going to add the one more domain here. Am I still root? Yeah, I'm still root, okay. Okay, and that's API, right? API craft, perfect. Okay, let's go back to my user. Let's go back here and refresh the API page here. Okay, refreshing. Advanced, yeah, we know, fine. Okay, cool, we have some kind of a API. Swagger, okay, perfect. I have no idea what's Gogs, I have no idea what's this. That's fine. Models. Cool. Okay, so we have two things in this case. We have the Gogs painless self-hosted. So okay, I'm guessing this is like a self-hosted GitHub or GitLab thingy. I'm just checking the chat if everyone is laughing at me. Yeah, perfect. It's on GitHub. Okay. Is that self-hosted? Haha, okay, that's funny. Cool. Explore. Do I have to sign in? Craft API. I do not have to sign in to take a look at this repository. And we have some... That's cool. We have... Oh, is this the actual server? No, this is the API server. Okay. What's this? Is it Flask? It's Flask. Okay, I know Flask. That's good. Something I can speak in. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger for you folks. Let's see what's going on here. We have endpoints, we have MySQL. It's getting the settings. Where is it getting the settings from? From somewhere. Okay, that's fine. Then is running debug, Flask debug. Is it running really Flask debug? Oh, I don't know what's the setting. Because if it would be running Flask with debug mode, then we can... I think we can actually execute Python code in that case. Proxy fix, whatever. Okay, let's go here and see the DB test. What do we have DB test? It's grabbing the stuff from the... Okay, that's fine. Then we have the git ignore, the tests. Okay, this is cool. I have questions, but not a lot. Okay, this is something which is we can use later to actually use it. And then we have the craft API. Anything interesting here? Nothing. Oh, by the way, I have no idea if I'm going to fully solve it today. I might continue next week in that case. Anything fun here? Nothing fun here. Here, no. SQL Alchemy. I have no idea what's that. I never used it. That's fine. REST plus. Okay. Not a lot of code here. Brew. I have not used Brew. Serializers. This is still... I'm basically looking if this is boilerplate code or is it like kind of specific to the API? Or the app actually. Looks pretty specific. Endpoints. Brew. Brew. Okay, get brew collection. There might be some bugs here. If there are any bugs, we are going to find them later. So let's go out of here, and then there's off, which is even more interesting. Authorization is always fun. Or authentication, whichever this was. Okay. Authentication. Okay. So craft, there are no settings committed. Okay, there are no settings committed to the head of the main branch. There might have been settings committed somewhere someday earlier. So what I'm going to do now is, what are the issues? Bogus ABV values, okay. It's possible to add bogus ABV values to the database, for instance. Okay, we can add, with brew ABV we can add, okay, and where is this? Can you do it yourself and commit? Sure. Fix live. Can we remove the sorry excuse for a patch? Okay, this is funny. I have no idea what's ABB, but that's fine. Okay, but I don't care too much about this. What I care more about, hey, this actually is looking like GitHub. I'm caring more about the commits. Okay, let's see. Is there anything fun? For example, what people tend to do sometimes is they tend to commit database password in the source code, and then other folks tell them, hey, do not do that. So they do another commit and basically like remove the password and like are using settings then and or some other stuff, which is perfectly not okay because you can still go back in the Git history and take a look at older stuff basically. I love the avatar. But I didn't want to go to the profile. Yeah, so what we are doing is we are basically looking at all patches to take a look what was going on there. I guess we should go from this. This is initialize. We are initializing it with stuff, but no, we are using the settings. Oh, wait. Oh no, we are ignoring git. This is git ignore. We are ignoring the settings py. So yeah, I don't think we can count on getting that. Well, this is SQLite anyway, right? So, or is it? No, it's MySQL. So we cannot count on getting the passwords with simple. Okay, empty, empty, empty. I guess. Okay, I don't care here. Let's see what changed actually. Auth required. I'm guessing auth was not required before, which is interesting. Then this is the issue. Then we have, oh, this was added. What is it? This is the test, right? We were looking at. Okay, this is fine. Then we have, oh, hello. What's this? Yeah, somebody is removing the, I like it. Somebody is actually removing the passwords, right? Wait, where's my mouse? Here is my mouse. Perfect. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Like somebody by mistake actually committed the user and password and then removed it. But yeah, like you need to actually scrub the repository. So, hello, this is nice. I'm actually going to copy it to my notes. I'm really hope I will not forget to change this later. Yeah, and this is something like, yeah, you might be thinking like, this would never happen to me, but on an actual pentest, yeah, this is absolutely going to happen. You'll find like all kind of weird stuff that people do. Cool, so we have something. We have a username and we have a password. We can see if we can SSH to the machine with this in a second. I want to look at the other stuff as well. This is, what is this? A DB test, a database test, that's fine. Cool. Okay, well, let's not actually keep the SSH waiting in this case. I'm going to, that's Dinesh, and I'm going to copy the password. Here we go, SSH -L. Yeah, that's not Dinesh. 10, 10, 10, 110. I'm not sure why. Okay, here. Blah, 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 yes. Password. Okay. Does this copy pasting of a password work? Maybe it doesn't. For a UHOA8. You cannot see anything because nothing is showing up anyway, so do not worry. GD enter. No, permission denied. Okay, so this is not. Either I did something wrong or we are not logging in there, but that's fine. That's still okay. Then we found another SSH server, right? So let's try there. What was the port -p, or do I have to do -p here? I don't remember. -p 22. Yeah, that's absolutely. No, permission denied. It only wants to authorize with a public key. Is that? No, it should be. Wait, with this one, that's a 0. It's a 0. Yeah, thankfully this font actually like has a clear distinction between a 0 and an O, with this like stripe in the middle. Maybe I did something wrong. Okay, let's try it again. SSH Dinesh at 10, 10, 10, 110. Password. Okay, I'm Control-Ving it. No. Does this work? Yeah, it does work. Let's do it again. The reason I'm doing it this many times is that I don't really trust the pasting. No, okay, now I have to actually trust pasting. So that's fine. So we cannot use it yet. We might be able to use it later. Let's continue playing with our code in that case. So what's this? This is the Gogs. Gogs, what's Gogs? Gogs is this thing we are looking at. So okay, Gogs. Did Gogs have any vulnerabilities? Gogs CVE. Usually vulnerabilities get CVEs, right? CVE details, Gogs own. Okay. That's something. It's a simple script to gain administrator rights on RC on the Gogs Gita server, including... Okay, question number 725. What's the version of this? Oh wait, you didn't see this because I used the wrong browser. I'm sorry. I will be switching between browsers. This is going to be crazy. Here, yeah, this is Gog owns, which I found. Okay, but question number 1 is what version of Gogs is that? What version are we looking at? Here we go. Where's the version? Here. Oh, perfect. 2018. This is good. 2018. I like it. Okay. Pretty old version. So okay, let's go back here and look for. No, let's go actually here and take a look at these CVEs. CVE number 1. Okay, Gogs. Blah blah blah. Version 1166, our version is 1186, so our version is newer, but it allows code execution because it does not properly validate a session ID. That's amazing. How do you... Wow. How do you, in 2018, get the session handling wrong? Well, okay, it happens. I understand, that's fine. Then there is this a newer one. Let's take a look. Okay. Go in Gogs before. Sorry, Gogs is in Go? I didn't even look at it yet. We are 86, so this is probably patched as well. Okay, so that's not good. Arbor, what kind of bug was it? Directory traversal. Can we upload files, by the way, at all? Let's go back here and play with the Gogs a bit. What can we do? Because we are not signed in, right? We are like a viewer. What can we do? We can go to wiki, but cannot do anything too much here. We cannot do a new pull request. Are there any branches? No, there are no branches. Are there any tags? No tags. We can probably well, clone it, which doesn't give us too much, but we cannot push. I wouldn't expect us to be able to push. That's something to remember though. So this is Explore, right? There are no other repositories. This is the only repository. There are several users. Let's take a quick look at the users. Administrator, nothing. Okay. So this doesn't help us at all. Help. Okay, and help goes to the main page, and here we can log in. Okay, that's fine. Let's continue actually going through the vulnerabilities in Gogs. So this is only looking at these two CVEs, but I would love to see more CVEs in Gogs. Dear Gogs, how do we, or rather dear page, how do we actually look for more vulnerable? Let's just go for Mitra CVE. Here we go. CVEs are basically a common vulnerability and exposure. It's basically a list of known vulnerabilities. Not all vulnerabilities, most vulnerabilities, both like low-risk vulnerabilities, high-risk vulnerabilities. If you're a vulnerability researcher, a lot of people like kinda take it as a badge of pride to find a vulnerability which gets a CVE assigned, which is, yeah, absolutely fine. Not required, but it's fine. So yeah, so this is what we are going to use. Gogs. Okay. Okay. That's cool. There are some newer bugs as well. So this is all, this is, okay, lacks permission to, let's see this one. Let's see this one, and let's see this one. These are pretty new. Are there anything else you'd like to take a look at? Another thing is that the version might be fake, right? Like, we might also consider it, hey, maybe the version is actually fake, maybe it's a little bit older, maybe the old vulnerabilities actually do work. Who knows? Open redirect allows attacker no, but this is boring. Attacker to access intern, no, this is boring. No, this is a CSRF, no. An attacker can use leading to SSRF, that's no. Mind sniffing with XSS, no. So XSS and XSRF type of vulnerabilities, we care about them only if we can interact with an admin, because these are vulnerabilities which are client-side, which means we are not exploiting the server, we are exploiting the user of the server, for example, an admin. So we are sending it like their way, and the admin is like clicking links, and then this is causing havoc in the panel or the website which they are logged into. Which, yeah, in our case, we do not have any ways to interact with the admin, or at least I haven't seen any yet. So yeah, this is not the way to go. Okay, I'm going to actually, I think I'm playing with the idea of actually checking this issue, because maybe it works. Yeah, serious issue, how do you... Okay, here's another question. Do we actually have a session? Because we might not have a session at all. Where will it be? Storage? Cookies. Yeah, I like Gogs. Is this the session ID? Redirect to administrator. Looks like a session ID. Let's change the session ID to something like this and see what happens. And now let's go. No, it actually changes it. So that's we can do C has WD and see what happens then. No, so it might actually be fixed, really. Okay, let's go back to the CVEs we are looking at. Are there any opened issues which are not fixed? We'll take a look in a second there. Okay, so going back to the list, actually. Is this... No, we have a newer version. Jenkins Gogs plugin, unencrypted credentials. Can be... Okay. API in Gogs lacks permission, checks for root deploy keep. Okay, that already looks interesting. How do we actually take a look there? Like, I'm going to note it. Let's go here. This looks pretty interesting and promising. Okay. Is there an exploit for this? Maybe vulndb has something. I have no idea what this page is. Okay. Maybe this. No, it doesn't seem so. Okay, that's fine. How do we check it then? We probably need to take a look at the source code. This looks most promising, I think. So let me switch back to this view. And there was, I think we opened, yeah. Okay, and it says that, oh, actually, did I note I didn't note it. Can we move this a little bit so, well, having the notes here isn't going to be too great either. view sidebar. Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. Now they said that the bug is in what exactly? So where was this? Okay. Here, missing permission checks. That's good. It's always good. Well, good for us, not good for users, obviously. What are the details? Is this all we know? Would be a little, but that's maybe enough. Okay, so now we go to roots. Where's the public? Is it? No, it's not public. Oh, but this is the new version. We need an old version. We need to look at the old version. When was it fixed? It was fixed with 12 milestone around August, and yeah, this is okay. Here we go. Okay, so we basically need this version. And how do we actually use the API at all of this is another question. Let me just copy this maybe. Okay, here's another question. How do I view the old version of the file? Just show me this file. So this was, yeah, this is the version I want to see. Exactly, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Roots, API v1, and that's API go. Okay, and they are claiming that there are hooks, for example. Let's look for hooks. Are missing. Yeah, there is no. The stuff which we added later is really not here. And keys. We can list keys. In that case, we can. What did they say about the bug? Deploy keys, collaborators, and hooks. I probably should have copied this too. Does that give us anything? We can deploy key. Deploy key is always cool because that gives us permission to access the repository, basically. Then we can add collaborators, which is also cool, but can we create accounts? I don't believe so, but we can check in a sec. And hooks. Hooks are even more interesting, I think, because hooks can, depending on how hooks work here, maybe we can actually execute some code on the server side with them. Okay. So that's one thing. Okay, I'm going to note it for later. Now there are no new CVs. Let's see the issues. Anything fun here in the opened issues? Is open this issue? No, that looks boring. I wonder if I just type back security, if it works. Now we are going, I think, to maybe let's actually. I'm going to remove this. There might be some vulnerabilities which did not get a CVE as well. Gogs still open to a what? I'm just going to read it for the lulz. There's okay. What's this? Okay. Another one. Okay, use git command to update origin remote. A remote code execution, and there are two, or is it? Yeah, two commits, but fix it. Wrong. So I'm actually going to save this one in my notes. But there is no CVE assigned to this. That's weird. Okay, git module there's an old version and a new version. Repo load. Key, that's fine. Okay. Let me read this through this again. Okay. Okay, then there was another bug. Are there any details here? This is a clear exploit analysis. Okay. Okay. I'd love to have more information about what I'm looking for. Okay, there were two commits only here, right? Added a commit. Should be fixed now, okay. But there might be some other commits which are not linked to this bug. But that was, yeah, that's pretty good, because our deployment was made in 2018, which means we have another bug in this case, which is good. Cool. And go sum. I have no idea what's this. Let's go sum. Oh, that's just like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I shouldn't have clicked that probably. Save address. Save address writes a new address to git repository config. How is this a code execution? I do not know git. That's my problem, I think. And remote. Do I have to be authenticated, by the way, to use this? How does this fix the issue? Okay, so they are what they are doing. They are doing this. No, config path, repo path, they change this. When we are loading this, remove remote origin, add remote. And instead they did section remote origin key URL set value. I have no idea how this. I have no idea how this is a fix to this bug, but let's look for Gogs exploit. Maybe this will give us some more ideas. Oh, exploit.db. I should have checked this one actually earlier. SQL injection. No, let's look for Gogs. Okay, only necessary cookies. No, we don't have too many Gogs exploit here. Let's look at this one. Yeah, these are old too. I'm kinda starting to think I should go like really go CTF way and just look for that vulnerability and exploit it. Because that really doesn't seem to be a fix for that bug. So I would have to look for commits which are basically between November, well, around this date. So let's look at the commit history. So code. Commits. And how do we quickly scroll to older? Well, November 2019 was thankfully not super old. We can just scroll through it. Older. Oh, yeah, like 0 just written on the chat, something obvious. Maybe I can just use these credentials which I found to log into the page. Let's try it. They might not. Yeah, that's a good thing. I didn't think about it. Yeah, let's try to use these credentials which I get to log here. It is an excellent point. Absolutely. Yeah, this is basically me not having proper pen testing like paths in my brain. Remember me, yeah. Alright, yeah, 0, like a point for you. Well done. Cool, so we are actually having access here. Okay, that's cool. Which means we can probably do some other stuff since we are authenticated. Your profile. Okay, my settings. Okay. Avatar. We can. I wonder where we can upload it. SSH keys. Where's the key? Cool. We can add new keys in this case. Security. Oh, yeah. That's fine. Okay, organizations, applications. Okay, cool. Now we can at least like communicate with the API and stuff. I'm guessing this is not an admin. Okay, that's a foothold. I really like having a foothold. I'm guessing I cannot really get this key, even if it's a public key. We can add a key. Would that give us anything? We could. Yeah, we can add a key. Let's just add a key because we're not. There's no reason to not add a key. Key gun. No, we want to store it in. Actually, which directory am I in? Here, that's fine. Okay, generate me a key and put it here and call it like a craft ID RSA. My console is too small. No passphrase, that's fine. Okay. And let's craft. What? Wait, oh, well, never mind. Let's upload this key. Well, this is like, on a pen test I probably wouldn't put this comment here in the key, but like since this is a machine, I'm absolutely fine with it. Key, normal, nothing to see here, nothing to see here, key, absolutely, and content, book. Here we go. Okay, now we have a key. So now we can interact with a repository. Let's interact with a repository in that case. I probably should like SSH agent. Okay, I probably need to do this. And I should add SSH add this key as my identity. Okay, cool. So now SSH actually knows about this key and will use it. There are some issues with using agent, but it's fine. Okay, let's go back to dashboard. Let's go back to no issues. I want to go into my repository. Where's my repository? How do I go? I absolutely cannot use this. Wait, is that... I don't have any repository. Can I create a repository? Maybe no. Because this isn't my repository, this is some other user's repository. Okay, so that's... I don't believe we have, even as a user, as a logged in user, we have too much access here. What can we do? Oh, we can actually do some stuff. Cool. Maybe we actually have some access here. Whatever, can I create a new repository? Let's go to your profile, repositories, where's my create button? There's no create button. Create, okay, here's the create button. New migration, new organ, okay, repository. Repository name, good. This is a private, yeah, it's private. Get ignore license, WTFPL. Okay. And oh, okay, they actually gave us this. That's cool. Okay. Fail to push because no good. Okay, does this work now? Because I didn't set any. Oh, I did. Why does spec? I absolutely cannot read good. Let's just do. Okay, cannot read. Make sure that bro. Why didn't it work for me? Okay, let's try it again. My apologies. I absolutely cannot into Git as it seems. It's somewhere on my to-do list to actually do some research into Git. Okay, let's try it again. Boom. Okay, this is fine. Worked so far. Let's try to add the origin again. And we have this in our host file, so this should work. It does work, and now we should be able to push. Why cannot we push? Yes. And that works. Oh yeah, never mind. I don't know. Perfect. So you can interact with our repository. Now let's go back to our bugs. What's my daily job? Well, not Git, obviously. Okay, cool. What do we do now? So we have kinda okay, we have access to the API-ish. We have, well, access. We can do this hooks thingy. I do not really know what hooks mean in this case. We can deploy keys, but we don't care because we already have full access to it as a user. We can upload some files. I have no idea where the files are stored on the drive. Maybe we can somehow access them. And then we have this weird bug which... Okay, let's go back. What's the next step we have to take? The next step we have to take is basically... What do we need? At the end of the day, we need the root flag and the user flag. And to get the user flag or a root flag, to get the user flag, we need to either have a file leak from the server, or we have to, I wonder if I can upload some links to Git and maybe grab a file like that. We can try it. Yeah, we can try it. I mean, why not? On the other hand, no, Git will just probably show me the sim link. Okay, I'm curious. I'm just curious. Let's try it. ln -s. I never remember what's the order of parameters. I think it's the opposite. It's first target and then the link name. Okay. So ln -s etc plus wd, and then let's call it xtxt. Okay, then we are git add xtxt, git status. Okay, git commit -m asdf, git push. Let's see how it actually looks in the repository after we done this. It's a link. Okay, it shows that a link somewhere, but it doesn't really show us the file, which is fine. If we zip it, let's download it as a zip. What does it do then? No, just save it. Oh wait, actually I could Yeah, maybe never mind. Maybe just open it. Here, okay. If we zipped it, no, no, it works. Yep. See, I really hope this isn't. Wait, maybe this is mine. It's mine. Okay, that's good. Oof, it's not an O day. I was a little bit worried for a second, but that's an O day. It's an O. It's not really an O day. It's like the zip manager on the PwnBox resolved the link locally, and I know this because of the user advan. So thankfully that's not an O day. That's good. That's good. I would not like to disclose O days on a live stream. That would be bad. So yeah, thankfully, but yeah, always worth to try. Why not? And I've seen this kind of bugs in the past, but again, we are not looking for O days, so that's fine. Okay. So, what else do we do? We tried this. This doesn't work, which is fine. We can upload a file. Let's go to settings. What can we do in the settings of a repository? We can choose a new avatar. We can do stuff on wiki. Okay, but I'm still like, you can see, I'm still in this like vulnerability research mode, and I'm like looking for new vulnerabilities. I know I do not want to look for new vulnerabilities. That's not my goal. Branches. Okay, webhooks. Okay, so these are webhooks, but I don't think we care about webhooks too much. Let's go back to the. They promised us in that one issue the remote code execution, but how do we get that again? Is there anything I'm missing here? CFG section, save, escape mirror credentials. Why is it even in Gogs? I do not understand this code, but I do not know Git, so. Use git command to update origin remote. Okay, fixes. No, it says it's fixes, so it has to be this one. Okay, there's another change, which is the change in this git module. I want to see what's the difference between the version 0.8.1 and 0.8.3. Okay, so this is the git module. And I'm interested in, is there master or there tags? Yeah, there are tags, okay. So I want to see what were the changes between this version and the next version. So let's start with the next version. Actually, we are looking kinda for, let's look for 8.3. We are looking kinda for commits which were around the same time. So that's around November 19th, November 17th. Okay. This doesn't sound super interesting. No, this doesn't look interesting at all. Okay, doesn't look super interesting. Require git. Snake. Okay, well, this rename. But this is the code which we were playing with a second ago. Okay, no vulnerability research. We are looking for actual. Okay, this doesn't look too interesting. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go back to master and see again any commits which were done around that time. Not a lot of commits were done at all around that time. This was require. Were there any other? Nah, looks boring. Okay, let's go back to that code. Okay, so this is the only module which changed. Then they did the version flip, the version bump. Yeah, I do not understand how this fixes a remote code execution. I guess that's my problem here. So maybe what I should do is like start looking in a different place and leave this for later. Like maybe I should learn between the live streams something about Git for a change. Gogs remote origin export. Let's look for this one. I'm going to open this site once more. And this one. I didn't see this one before. Okay. Oh, that's nice. And that's a longer one. Okay. Including. So this is actually, they have some more. You know what? Let's actually play with this one. I mean, it's a virtual machine anyway, so what could possibly go wrong? I'm quite curious if an exploit like just off the shelf would do anything here. I need to go here though. So wait. Oh, okay. Now I get my problem. My problem is that doing Control-T opens a tab in my browser, not in this browser. Yeah, let's just download it. As a zip, yeah, just save it, whatever. Cool, and now to downloads and do unzip. Maybe they have some other exploit because they say they include these but have also other. So, and again, this is just a VM, so I'm not too afraid of running stuff. Is that Python 3 then? No, that's Python 3. Okay, cool. We can use this. How do we use this? Okay, we do this and do, okay. So 10, this -v. Error connecting 3443. Error connecting. Why do we have error connecting? I can connect. Maybe they don't like this URL style. Let's do this. Oh, this works. Ish. Add request. Oh, no. So we need this. I cannot enter URLs, it seems. What else do they need? Oh, no, because they need a domain. Because, yeah, no, never mind. Sorry, ignore me. Gogs craft HTTP. Yeah, here we go. And we can remove this probably. What? We have to return to this website, by the way. Gogs craft Dinesh. Good. Let's give this maybe. Why is this not working? Yeah, like off-the-shelf exploits. Error connecting to... Are we debugging another exploit? We might do debug it, because why not? We're just doing this. Okay, strace dash f dash e trace equals... what do we need? Network, DNS. Actually, let's do a full trace. Dash o tmp log. What? What do you mean? I don't have strace here, really. Sudo app install strace. Why wouldn't you have strace on a machine? Okay, last tmp log. Okay. No, so it did connect. Oh, because it doesn't like the certificate. And yeah, and it checks the certificate and it says, yeah, the certificate is kinda doesn't work. So we need to convince the library to... let's do this, should be easy. Okay, what are they using here? They are using requests, okay. Wrong browser again. Request Python ignore SSL. How do I use this exactly? Verify false. Okay, that's fine. Wait, where do we need it to? In get or post? Okay, where's the function which does the request? It sets the cookies and does this. Oh, self-post. Okay, that's a good one. Where's the post function then? Okay, it does... CSRF dance, nice one. Session. Okay, so it does session. Do we have to do it in session then? Are there any other ways to do this? I'm out of water. Oh, I can just do this. Okay, session verify. So where's the session created? One is created here, one is created here, one's here. Okay, so 3 times, that's fine. Wait, where is this insecure? Okay, what's insecure? Insecure false. Oh, okay, dash K. Here we go. They actually implemented it, so never mind. That's good. Dash K was it. You must supply, but okay, that's cool. We do have an account. How do we supply that again? So where is this? Dash, okay, in this form. That's cool. So it was Dinesh and to Nash. Here we go. And now we need the password. Here we go again. Sorry. Let's do this. Okay, malicious path. So no, this is the old vulnerability, the one with the sessions, right? Yeah, it is one with the sessions. So yeah, it doesn't. This one doesn't work. Do they have any other vulnerabilities which we can do? Try the pre-op vulnerability. Okay, yeah, try it. Why not? Okay, that probably means it doesn't work. Yeah, I'm getting it doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, off-the-shelf exploit as expected did not work, but that's fine. It's always fine to try it. Let's go back to this website. I'm going to kinda read after the stream a little bit about Gogs and about Git. So I'm going to try to figure out how does this vulnerability one works. Or actually, we could also look for other vulnerabilities which are unfixed. Let's spend like a few more minutes on browsing through Gogs list of that was on GitHub. Where's GitHub? Oh no, it was here on this browser. So let's close this one. And we were looking for issues. Okay, so that was one issue. Let's look for other issues. Maybe there's another bug which is still unfixed. This one just caught my attention and kind of sidetracked me. Incorrect. Are we looking for closed issues? And okay, is issue. That's cool. Whatever works actually, which is interesting, reporting security issues. Remote code and another one. This might work. To gain admin access. I don't think we care about admin access. Sanitize path. This is probably what we just saw in the exploit. Yeah, this is probably what the exploit tried to use. Yeah, this is exactly the vulnerability which the exploit tried to use, so that's fine. We cannot use this either. But that means that we are going to alt probably. I'm not looking for old days, I'm looking for old bugs, by the way. Let's take a look at this one. No, public keys. That's fine. Maybe let's remove the issues. Security is kind of like code execution. Remote code execution. Not a lot. Just these two, which we already have seen. Okay, let's take a look back at the actual API on this one. Maybe this one has something interesting. I'm going to, after the stream, take a look at Git a little bit more to think if there are any ways to attack it. And I'm going to try to figure out what is the actual bug in the Gogs with the place they claimed it's a remote code execution, because I just do not understand it. Okay, so this is the API page, and we actually have access to to this. Let's go back. Gogs tests uploaded 4 minutes ago. That wasn't me. I guess somebody else is also sharing the machine with me, which is fine. But basically, like, the machines you're hacking can be shared by multiple folks at the same time. Or on the other hand, that might be the exploit which uploaded this Gogs test, which is also fine. Okay, so here we found the credentials in a weird place, right? The credentials were in a pretty weird place. Where were they? Oh, never mind. We can look at the API itself first. So, what's in the API? We have. We can authenticate. No problem. Try it out. Yeah, try it. Click execute. Anything happened? Nothing. Oh, here. Forbidden. Invalid token. No token found. Okay. Then we have login. We can log in, try it out. No parameters, yeah. And it says forbidden because it needs a token. If it needs a token, where do I get the token? Yeah, I probably need to find the token. Then we have what? This is more interesting actually. We have creates a new brew entry. So we can send this stuff. Then we can brew. Well, we can probably find the token in the test. We can do the brew, we can delete stuff, and we can put stuff. What does the put do? And we have models, which is basically the database structure for all intents and purposes. So let's go back here to this craft API. And I'm curious about the tests. Do the tests have any token? Can we actually just run it? They have token. Where do the token comes from? Where does it come from? JSON, it gets the login and okay. Let's see if the test works. So let's do this, let's do cat test.py. -3 test. It says that it doesn't work because... Okay. We know how to fix this one. Oh no, there's verify set to false already. Can you just show me the response then? Authentication failed, so it actually does require some authentication. Let's put the Danish's authentication here. So it's Danish, and here we have this. Does this work? Well, I hope it works. I think it was taken from here, right? Oh, no, it doesn't work. Did I make a typo? No, I didn't make a typo. So we cannot interact with the API, is that what I'm reading here? Yeah. Doesn't seem that we can interact with it. Okay, let's go. Okay, show me the code. So, wait, okay. What do we have here? Okay, it's basically looking for the user in the database, and then it creates, if the user is there, then it creates a JSON token with the user, the expiration time, which is now plus 5 minutes, and the secret. The secret is taken from the, where's the secret? From the craft API secret, okay. So that's fine. then it JSONifies it and it sends us the token, and it makes a response and it says, okay, failed to authenticate otherwise. Otherwise, we get the token as basically base64, I guess. Then, if an authentication is required, what we are doing is we are looking at for the header. If the header is there, we are grabbing the token. Otherwise, the token is not initialized. And then we are trying to decode it with a secret. And yeah, if it doesn't work, then we just say, yeah, like token not found, return for free. Otherwise, we are going to run the function. Yeah, this looks good. I don't know which library they are using for GWT. Maybe we can kinda bypass it, but I'm not sure. Then there's the login, which, okay, it's a get login and check is, yeah, and they have this auth required here. So let's look for other APIs. Maybe there's an API which does not require authentication, which would be cool. So we go here, we go endpoints, and we check here what are the endpoints. This one, get list of brews. I do not see any authentication required, so we can get list of brews. We can try it. Get put no list of brews. Click get. I'm spelling Dinesh wrong. Let me check. Dinesh. Did I make a typo? Thank you, chat, for being here and watching me, because Danish, yep, Dinesh. I'm sorry. I apologize. Dinesh, obviously, I mix the names. Now it works. Oh yeah, okay, here we go, thank you. So yeah, we do not need to look for a bypass. Okay. How to tell, like, requests to just go away and, like, stop bugging us? If we do to... no, does this work? Yeah, it works, perfect. Okay, so this works. So now we can look for any... The question is, like, is this application useful for us anyway? But we can look at the actual implementation. Maybe there's something fun. Maybe we can do some code execution somewhere here. Okay. These are the endpoints, but what I need to look is actually the parsers, the serializers. Okay. Pagination, request, parser. Not a lot of stuff here. Serializers. Integer, string, 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 required. Integer, 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 and then list nested. Doesn't look super interesting. I think I need to learn this alchemy magic though. Create, session, add, brew, commit, query filter. Okay, query filter, delayed brew. Is this the only API we have here? This is boring. Init, nothing. Endpoints. In endpoints we have, well, this, we looked at it again like a second ago, I know, but let's look at it a little bit deeper. I thought it was like a thin layer without any logic, but maybe there is some logic here. Brew query, why do I do this? I don't know, but okay. Okay, then post. What? Eval? Really? What is an evil doing here? Yeah, evil is the only way to... Wait. Okay, hello. No, seriously, are you seeing this? What is an evil doing here? Okay, if... Well, you know. If you see evil, you use evil, so let's be evil. And let's use this. Sorry, which API was this again? I can't believe my eyes. It's post on... it's post on brew collection. Brews post on Which one is the post one? Here. It's create an entry, okay. And what exactly does this entry? It gets the ABV. Oh, we even saw the commit for it, right? So we probably saw the evil before that. Fine. Well, let's see what we can do with it. If we are getting evil there, let me open this test. Okay, so we are logging in, then we are creating. This is the moment it's going to be exploited. Okay, and then I do not care about anything else, so just do like sysexit here. Okay, import sys, and here ABV. ABV is set 15. Wait, create bogus. Okay, because we have 2 here, that's fine. Here. Payload. Finally some progress. Payload, what do we send there? You know what? Is this Python 3? This is Python 3, so let's do this. But are we sending strings? That's fine. Okay. Okay, then we do them. What are we sending? The evil. Let's do something first, like import OS system sleep 10 to see if we can get it to delay 10 seconds, and if that works, then that's good. We can actually do this Python 3 test. No, that didn't work. Token is invalid. Nice, token invalid. It worked before, right? Did I do something wrong? Token is valid. Oh, no, token is valid. Okay. Unhandled exception. Well, that's something. Does this, by the way, work if I do Python 3 ASDFPY? Yeah, it sleeps for 10 seconds. Okay. Okay. So it works here, it doesn't work here. Let's try with some. Maybe they don't have sleep. OS that system. What else can? Let's do the same with time sleep in that case, but because I want to basically see that it works. Sleep. No. Sleep. First locally. Here we go. Yeah, locally it works. Now let's try remotely. Maybe I should have done it like unhandled exception hex -csdfpy. Is there a new line? Why is there a new line? Vim, stop adding new lines. I don't like Vim adding new lines here. You know what? I'm going to do Vim here read and then strip. Yeah. Okay, now it works. Here we go, so the new line at the end. Okay, so if it works, then we can play a little bit more with this. Let's do OS again, and let's do the system with sleep 3, so we don't wait too long. Okay, it works. Okay, so we have code execution there. Let's grab the first flag in that case. So to grab the first flag, we need to do cat. Oh, I cannot do a tilde here. Home. Alright, let's do this. Wait, we cannot do that because we actually need to listen for the answer somewhere. Let's do nc-v-l-p 1, 2, 3, 4. What's my okay? My IP is here. Never mind. So is this bash? It's probably bash, which is executing it here, right? So we can do def tcp this 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if that works. It returned, but it didn't connect. So instead of this, let's see verse and see here. And see and yeah, here we go. It connected and it didn't give me any flags. Okay, well, if it doesn't give me any flags, give me just a shell. It's a different version of NC probably. Which one? Did the traditional one have the -e, or did the other one, the OpenBSD, have -e? Maybe they don't have -e. I obviously don't remember how to NC. There's a different way to do it with NC if you do not have -e. This one's also a bit of an overkill. Wow, this is an overkill. I love it. Let's do it. Okay, my IP is, however, 10, 10, 14, 39. The port matches. Okay, that's weird. Here we go, hello. Okay. Who am I? Am I in a sandbox in that case? Because this is weird. Yeah, Docker. Okay, we are in the Docker. That's fine. But we have a foothold in a Docker. I was like, yeah, did we just get a root on PwnBox? No, but it's a root in a Docker, which is fine. Okay. I wonder what else is here, but I think this is a good place to stop, and the next time we'll actually try to either escape the Docker or okay, let's do some recon here. Let's go to etc and go to, is there Apache here? We cannot do less. We can do scrolling. There is no, oh, so it's Alpine. Yeah, it's absolutely done. That's fine. What was my, anything fun here? Nothing fun. What's cache? It's a file? No, it's a directory. Pip. Okay, that's locked. We're in opt, right? Opt up. So we have this, which means there should be some settings somewhere here, right? So craft API, cut app py. We have git here, which is also interesting. Where does it grab the settings from? You know what? We should do PSaux. This is us. This is the Python app. Okay, Python app. Where are you grabbing the settings from? Here we are. Settings. Okay, this is going to be useful. So I'm just copying everything here. What do we have here? MySQL. Is MySQL on this machine? This is an excellent question, because if the MySQL is not on this machine... No, I think it's in a different machine. Host name. Alright, that's an interesting host name. IP address. Okay, we have... Where's our IP? Is this our IP? Yeah. So let's do pingdb. Okay, it's a different machine. Crap, I lost the shell. Let's do exploit again. Okay, so we can probably MySQL into the database, but we have to have MySQL here. Do we have a MySQL client? We do not have a MySQL client. That's fine. The next thing we can do is we can actually connect to that other database and see what kind of permissions do we have there. What can we do here too? We can install the MySQL client on our machine and we can just tunnel the connection for all I care. Okay, so yeah, we can now do lateral movement to another machine, but that's fine. What else do I care about is what's in dev? What devices do we have mapped? We have nothing. Oh yeah, that's boring. Nothing here. What's in proc? There's some stuff in proc, but not a lot. Let's... yeah. Mount. What do we have mounted? Overlay. Oh, is this a mount of the actual... yeah, this is the mount of a real machine. This isn't the mount of our Docker container. Does this give us anything? I'm not really sure if it gives us anything. What else could we check here from the Docker? Well, I think the next step is just to connect to that MySQL, because normal things which I could check here is, well, I'm already root, right? I'm root, which can do what? Which can do some stuff, but I'm a root in my container, so I'm not root, I think. What we could do is we could look for any other connections which are going out. We can probably nmap the machine as well. Here we can actually do that. Let's do, is there nmap? There is no nmap. But we could nmap from the Docker container the actual machine. We probably have a, we can ping it. I think we can ping it. Okay, we can ping it. And I cannot Control C it because it will disconnect me. If we have this IP, then the, yeah, see, I'm learning. I think the Docker main, like the host will have ping. How do you? Let's just do it again. Anyway, this should be the main machine. Okay, so we could scan it from this side, which means we might find things which do not answer to external stuff but are accessible from there. And we might also look for any like kind of pipes and other stuff, but I don't think there is going to be too much. Hey, is there actually like a Docker file we can a Docker file which we can see, check out the config of it. Docker files here, no Docker files. Any Docker file here, no. Okay, find dot grab Docker. No Docker files. Any like no. Yeah, so okay, cool. We can end here. Next time what we will do in that case is going to be, we are going to do a lateral jump into the MySQL client, with a MySQL client to the MySQL machine, and try to get a foothold there and see what's there. Maybe there's some interesting stuff there which would allow us to escape to the host. Maybe not. If not, then we will start thinking, hey, maybe we have access to the host from this machine. We can just connect to it like from machine. Sorry, I'm saying machine. What I mean is a Docker container, obviously, which isn't a machine. That's not a virtual machine. That's just a kind of a separation on the OS level. Yeah. Now, what do I need to copy? Because okay, it's like this. Let me actually go back to. I have a couple of things which I want to preserve here, so not a lot of things, but there is this. I think there's a way for me to, is this it? My data, yeah, I can store some stuff here, but I think it's going to be like, yeah, it will persist between instances you spawn, but it's not backed up. So the data might be there, it might not be there, whatever, that's fine. I'm just going to, in that case, use it to copy all this. Do I need anything else? No, that's it. I'm keeping these nodes on my actual on my actual machine. And we didn't do too much stuff in all honesty, so the only thing I would copy to my nodes is here, this ASDFPY, this thing. Because everything else we can just like easily get back to in a couple of minutes. Okay, and I think we are done with this, which means, well, done, we are halfway, but it means I can terminate my instance. So it's being terminated now. And yeah, and it's terminated. And we can continue playing with it next week, I think. Cool. So if you have any questions now, let's chat about them. If you want to, you know, ideally don't spoil the machine, but we can chat about it a bit. And as you can see, I kind of struggled with it more than I should have because, well, no, that's not really true. I struggled with it. I think we did good progress in 2 hours. It takes time. Security takes time, that's fine. On CTFs is also, you know, when you're seeing my live stream, like for example me going through a task on the live stream, that's also me knowing the task and me going through the straight line to the proper solution. I'm trying not to do a lot of tasks which I don't know because they take a lot of time. And by that I mean that on a CTF it's pretty normal for a task to take anything between 2 to like 24 hours. And that's a little bit long for the live stream. Here, for 2 hours on a machine where I like didn't do pen testing for 10 years, I think we did okay. It wasn't perfect, it was a lot of struggling, but that's okay. We did travel through, we basically did a tree, right? We had a tree, we started with just the IP, and then we like started finding new things and testing like the branches in and the nodes in the tree and going deeper and some going then back and testing, looking for other branches. That's pretty normal. That's the way you should go about it. So yeah, I think it wasn't perfect, but we did some progress. We can do next week if you'd like, we can continue it. We have gained a shell, we have some credentials, we know how to do a lateral jump to MySQL server. So yeah, we have a foothold. We might get a foothold in another container, so it should be a bit easier from there. And now, if you have any questions, exclamation mark Q and the question, I'm going to try to answer some questions. I'm going to go from the end, I guess. No, I cannot go from the end because my script cannot show it from the end. So no, you will see the questions here. Cloudfish writes, have you been thinking about making KrzaQ CTF streams with someone from Dragon Sector, or will someone that is less knowledgeable, or with someone that is less knowledgeable than you? It would be awesome to see some way of like a teamwork. That's a cool idea, actually. Yeah, that's a cool idea. Let's let me just note it down. We might do it someday. Probably after COVID, because it's best to do this kind of thing sitting next to each other, and yeah. So yeah, once the pandemic ends, we can try it. Improx writes, what are the benefits of solving CTFs? Do you think it helps you solving issues in your daily work? Would I learn new stuff? You would absolutely learn a lot of new stuff. You might learn some tricks. You get pretty fast with hands-on skills, and this is something which is important in some kind of, like for example in vulnerability research, being hands-on, it's super important, and doing that fast, right? So yeah, that's the stuff you learn on the CTFs. On the other hand, CTFs also are a little bit different than normal daily work, because CTFs are enclosed problems which are small. Even the large tasks, they're small. And they're sometimes superficial or artificial, not superficial, artificial. Meaning that it's a cool problem to think about, but it's probably not something you will find in the real world. sometimes, sometimes the tasks are based on real world, but other times there's like, yeah, somebody found a cool trick, so let's do a CTF task about it. But they are fun as well, so there you have it. It's good to keep your skills honed, I would say, your manual skills. And you do a lot of coding, a lot of exploit writing, a lot of debugging. This is the stuff which you can use in, like, if you're a programmer, the amount of weird debugging you will do on a CTF, for example, on a remote server where your only debugging interface is basically knowing if your exploit is waiting 5 seconds or is returning immediately. That's your only debugging interface to it. You have to get really creative. And this gets useful when you are debugging some weird device without a debugger, because it's like you're writing, I don't know, a boot sector and you're booting code and you cannot even connect a debugger yet to the device. So it becomes useful in such cases. And I think that's more or less it. There might be other, differences and benefits. Turpan writes, how different is the real-world applications from the boxes machines in the pentesting platforms? Looking at HTB, they actually look pretty similar, I would say. Real-world stuff is larger. That's the main thing. It's larger. If you see an application, there will be a lot of data there. It will be used by real humans. So that's the main difference, right? You will probably have like several services on the machine. Here we had 4 accounts and 1 repo. On a real instance, you would have multiple users, a lot of repositories, and probably some other services on the machine as well. So yeah, real world is larger machines. These machines are pretty resembling it, but the scale is just different. It's minimized, so you can actually solve it. Hacker27 writes, would you give what will be the categories in Google CTF? I don't think that's public yet, so yeah, sorry, I cannot tell you yet. There will be categories, that's all I can say. Bug bounty hunter or pentester, which has more scope in cybersecurity? Nowadays, I mean, I would say both to some extent, because from my perspective, being a pentester is more like a job. Like, you can kind of get a loan saying that I work as a pentester. You can probably not get a loan saying you work as a bug bounty hunter, because bug hunter is basically, these are bounties. You might be lucky and get a bounty, and you might not be lucky and not find anything and not get a bounty. So it's not as stable as a job. Sorry, a lot of people do both. Because why not? I mean, it's similar skills. I'd say like bug bounties is like somewhere between pen testing and vulnerability research, depending on what you go after. What books you have in the bookshelf? There was an episode about it, I don't know, 20 episodes ago, maybe 25. So take a look for it, and we were going through all technical books which I have there, and which means we were skipping most of the bookshelf because most of it is non-technical. But yeah, there was an episode and we were going book by book by book by book. And yeah, I see, I got a lot of books from that time. We might want to make a new one later this year. When is Google CTF happening? That would be middle of August. I think there is an entry on CTF time. We can take a look. Where is my browser? Here we go, CTF time. And upcoming events. There are a lot of events nowadays, which is really cool. Here, Google capture the flag, 22nd to, yeah, 22nd, 23rd. That's going to be 48 hours from this to this. Yeah, and it's going to be fun. I mean, I've seen some stuff. It's going to be fun. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Have you ever considered participating in Pwn2Own? I cannot participate in Pwn2Own because Okay, I'm not sure about the current state of things, but in the previous year I couldn't participate because Google was one of the sponsors, and I work for Google. So yeah, there we go. So maybe in the future when I switch to browsers or like iOS or whatever, and I no longer work for Google, then maybe. But yeah, apart from that, Turpran, not related much, but how do you protect your device if the machine provided contains malware that can harm your software? If you get malware, it's already kind of late. Like you have to put most of your protections before it gets malware, and you have to separate devices kinda. So like there are devices which I like never do any stuff on them because they contain really important data and I cannot risk malware getting there, right? And these devices are like not something I would do random browsing on or running random executables on. And then there are devices which are care a little bit less. I do use some random tricks, like for example, my download directory doesn't have, or rather has set execution to be denied, so I cannot actually execute executables even by accident in my download directory. And there are a couple of more things I have, but yeah, I guess the best protection is to separate the really important stuff and not run random executables. Because yeah, you might get hit by an O day, but it's more probable that you'll just random click an executable at the end of the day. And do backups. Are you familiar with taint analysis? How effective is it? I am familiar with it. Let me put it like this. It's a research technique. And if you understand it and there are places where it's worth using it, and then you use it. Yeah, and it's as effective as the like thing you apply it to, basically. It's kind of like fuzzing, right? But it's different. Like it's not really like fuzzing. Let me think if I can. It's kind of like code coverage. Code coverage is it effective? Is it not effective? It's a tool. And yeah, taint analysis is also a tool. So you can use it, for example, like for fuzzing. Both you can use for fuzzing to some extent. And they might become effective then, and then you can use it for a different thing, and it's absolutely not effective then. So it really depends what you are using this technique for. And if you're using it correctly, it might be highly effective. Do you plan to do streams related to heap? Maybe in the future, but not. I do not have any plans at the moment, but maybe someday. How to start with HTB machines? Can you start with zero knowledge of past known vulns? Okay, that's not a question for me. It's a question for somebody who has done like 10 or 20 or 30 HTB machines, I think. From my perspective, well, you see me just Googling for vulnerabilities or looking for like in GitHub issues and stuff. So it seems you do not need anything. You just need to know how to Google. I'm not saying I actually did correctly Google for it. Maybe I didn't found some stuff, but yeah, there we go. What's the progress on GW assembler? Is it going to be an assembler or an interpreter? I haven't decided yet. The last thing we did is we were parsing macros, but now we need to implement actually like resolving the macros, and this is the next stuff we will do after HTB. When will you be able to meet in Poland? Well, I guess when the pandemic is over, I will start to again show up on conferences in Poland, and then probably. But yeah, that means next year, in 2 years, who knows? Crazy times, folks. What cool projects algorithm would you recommend to implement in order to improve my programming skills? It's like, for algorithms, you need the strong basics. So, and like, I said this on my Polish chat, but basically if you, like Yuru and Kele some time ago did a marvelous skill tree for algorithms, and they have like all the basics are there. So let me give you that link actually. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to paste it on the chat as well, but if you are watching like a video, then just type it. There's double L here, Vexillium. Yeah. This isn't Polish, but yeah, okay, I just noticed it's in Polish. Use Google Translate. It's a really nice skill tree, it's worth translating it. I'm sorry, I didn't notice it's in Polish. Anyway, so yeah, you basically need to learn all the basic algorithms. Even if you are not into, you know, hardcore algorithmic stuff, you need to know the basic algorithms. Yeah, there's that. You do not have to learn it in the first year, second year, and so on, but like in the first 10 years as a programmer, be sure to learn most of them. Even if you implement them just once, that's enough. Yeah, and for projects, it's kinda depends on what you like. Do what you like, because you will spend most time on it. If you like creating games, create games. If you like more like some useful desktop utilities or mobile application, do that. If you like backend and frontend, do websites. But do what you like. That's the thing I can say. Is there a place, any place you can to get your color scheme? You can get my color scheme if you Google for it, actually. That's how I get it. If you look for, so it's like this, if you look for Sublime Genveil, you will get Pavlos's repository with my color scheme. This is something I think we need to add to my FAQ. Because Pavlos actually ported my Vim one. So my Vim one is on my GitHub in the like in stream in there here. This is my, well, it's actually Inkpot, which was changed in a way to be resemble my colors. Inkpot was another color scheme made by someone way smarter than me. And yeah, I think if you Google for another editor and Genveil and color scheme, you might find it as well, because I did see some other flying around as well. So there we have it. Okay, there are a couple of more questions, so let's quickly go through them. Would you use an ordered map, which is implemented as a hash table behind the scene? I don't think that's a hash table. Correct me if I'm wrong, because it doesn't calculate the hashes. I think that's more like a red-black tree or something like that. In opcode, decoding or collision possibility makes it less desirable. If it, like, depending what speed your emulator has to be. If it's not something super fast, then yeah, I could use it, why not? I see myself using it. Otherwise, if you want to be like super really fast, you can. If you want to be really super fast, that part is not your bottleneck probably anyway. Okay, so an ordered map is a hash table. Are you sure? I am not sure about that. I'm saying I'm not sure about that because you're not providing any way to... Or are you providing any way to hash it? That's a good question. Maybe you're right. I would have to dig into it. Because like for hash tables you need a hash, which means for random classes you need to give it... like for classes which are supposed to be keys, you need to give them a method which would calculate a hash out of them. Let's do a quick check actually. Map custom k class. Yeah. Let's see if they say that a hash function. Okay, yeah, so there is. Okay, well, it's solved. It's a hash table, absolutely. I was always doing it this way. Well, or did I? Maybe I was using map. Good to know. Okay, yeah, thank you. I learned something today. Do you know there is a page about you on Wikipedia? I think there is one on Polish Wikipedia, right? I think it has a couple of... yeah, there's a Polish one. It's... yeah, I've seen it. There are a couple of mistakes here, but I'm honored to be on Wikipedia, obviously, and I haven't been removed yet. But there are a couple of mistakes here, so I'm sometimes checking it if the mistakes have been fixed or not yet. How do you become a vulnerability researcher? This is a large question. At the end of the day, what I can suggest is to go to my FAQ. Sorry. Here, genveil.live, and you go to FAQ, and then there is... it's not exactly a vulnerability researcher, but this is how to start the adventure of hacking, and then this is how to find bugs and vulnerabilities in software. Like, start with this, look for bugs and vulnerabilities, and basically a vulnerability researcher is a person who is looking for bugs in software. And on top of that, also thinking about how to improve ways you use to find bugs. For example, make a novel attempt at fuzzing or create a new automate to find some class of vulnerabilities and so on. This is basically what you would do. How feasible do you think it is to exploit one-day vulnerabilities before the patches are released, specifically for software following an open source model? It has been done in the past. Yeah, it's quite feasible, depending on the complexity of it. But yeah, it has been done. I've seen it done, so it is feasible. Yeah, it's kind of a problem, right? Also, like, you know, even after the patch has been released, right? That means that you can do patch diffing and you can create an exploit based on the vulnerability which the patch diff shows you. The patch diff basically gives you the vulnerability on the plate. And then you can still hack quite a lot of systems before, well, an attacker can hack quite a lot of systems before they get patched. So this time between a patch is being released and an actual systems in real world are being patched, this is pretty critical as well. And the larger the company is, the more worried they are always when applying the patch, because the patch, for all they know, we can just like crash the system, right? The Windows updates, for example, which killed some systems. So yeah, it's, you know, it's risk analysis on the system owners then like, should we wait to see if there are any problems or deploy patches only to like 1% of our fleet, or should we actually patch everything? And yeah, how feasible is it that somebody is actually going to do patch diffing and exploit us in that time? A good question, by the way. Very good question. How do you assess whether it's secure to run an application on your own computer? For instance, if it's on the vendor website, it's secure enough, or if it's in repos. Yeah, as I kind of mentioned, if you have really valuable data, credentials, and so on, then basically have separate machines for that. So even if you do a mistake, like somebody backdoored on a vendor website an application, then yeah. On the other hand, in an ideal world, what a security researcher like me would do is I would download the application and like start reversing it and look if there are any backdoors added, if there are any weird stuff in it, and so on, and do that with every application. This is not feasible. This is not doable. We do not have enough time. And looking for backdoors and backdoors, as in mistakes which are actually backdoors, which are vulnerabilities, that takes months of work, and you cannot do that with like every application. So it's better to just separate what kind of data you have on different machines and like have the critical data on another machine, never run their stuff which you do not somewhat trust. Yeah, and like turn off the machine when you are done using it. And then there are machines like where you just don't care, and you try to be like, yeah, I can download it. It kind of looks from an okay source, like VirusTotal doesn't say anything bad about it, so it's, yeah, I can run it on this machine. Yeah. Or maybe if I'm a little bit more worried, maybe I can run it in a sandbox. I have sandbox here on my machine. Maybe I can, if I'm more worried, I can run it on a virtual machine first and see in a procmon, is it doing anything weird? But it's still a best effort thing, which at the end of the day, you just don't know anyway. So it's a really hard problem, this. That's a really good question. Dota 2 tournaments, right? You cannot be bad in pentests. You have the most endorsement on LinkedIn for this skills. This probably because of pentests I did 10 years ago. And again, it's like this. On a pentest, I probably could stand my ground. That being said, I would be slower than real pentesters. Yeah. And if we would hit a wall and it would be time to look for O-days, then yeah, that would be more familiar ground for me. Any reason you... Okay, so this is actually a question which is related to what we are doing on the stream. And we did end up looking at the API as well, and we did find the evil function used there. Could you do APK add nmap? You mean on the remote machine? Maybe I could. Or like apt install. Yeah, it's a good question. We can try it next time. How did you like the PwnBox? Cool. I liked it. I mean, it just works. There are no lags almost. Well, I wouldn't play Quake on it, but for using it, it's pretty cool. I liked it. And I didn't have to install any VPNs on my machine, you know. That's always good for me because a VPN is a two-way traffic, right? So you know, when you gaze into the abyss gazes into you. So I can connect to the machine, but anyone on the machine can connect to my machine, my real machine. So I like the PwnBox. Hi Ipsec, bye bye. Tomo writes, after you added the key, couldn't you just SSH to the port you found? I'm not sure that port is actually related to... So I added the key, but it's not like... Probably no. My thought is, and that assumption might be wrong, and you might be onto something. My thought was that the bash is disabled there. And I can establish an SSH channel to chat with Git, but SSH at the end of the day is just a transport channel, by the way. And it's, for example, transporting the terminal to you, right? But it can transport also files, it can also transport other stuff. So yeah, it's like over one SSH connection, you can transfer a lot of stuff. You can, for example, tunnel your web traffic if you want to do that. And that's like, there are options in SSH to do that. Like -D, -D, look it up. So yeah, so my assumption was that I can chat with Git, but that's it. You might be right that I might be able to actually chat with a shell, but I don't think so. We can try it next time. You might be onto something, but I don't think so. Okay, how many questions are there? Wow. Let's do like 5 more minutes of questions because, yeah, it's like time to finish. Have you solved any browser exploitation challenges? No, I plan to get into it. I have it on my list, but I haven't. I haven't done browser exploitation for 13 years. When was the time I played with it last? Here, 2008, for 12 years, when I found bugs in like Firefox and Opera and Safari. From that time I haven't played with browser exploitation, so yeah. And things have changed a lot from that time. Do you agree with a statement that only serious hardware breakthroughs can completely eliminate memory corruption issues? No. The thing is that even a compiler could kinda eliminate it if we are fine with performance loss. We would have to rework the compilers a lot, but at the end of the day, it somewhat might be possible to do that. But we are not ready for the performance loss. So maybe there, if we have like much faster hardware, then we can suffer through the performance loss. On the other hand, if we are thinking about like magical CPU features which do check like sizes of buffers and so on, that's great for... That's basically in the same bucket as like being able to rework compilers, because you have to rework compilers to use the features. And the problem isn't the code you can recompile. The problem is the code which is legacy, which you cannot recompile. And you cannot use all these magical features. That's the problem. Yeah, if we could recompile all the code and we could suffer the performance loss, then goodbye most memory corruptions, but it might also require changing the language, actually, because C++ memory corruptions aren't the only problems there. They are the most known problems, but yeah, not only problems. So yeah, so I'm not sure about that statement. Please explain to which extent social engineering is required for real-life pen testing for an average pen tester. I don't know. It's a good question. I would say that most pen testing teams need at least one person who is pretty decent at it. And it's good to know how to write an email, like a phishing email or something like that, as a pen tester, which is like plausible and can actually get you some user accounts for the thing you are pen testing. If that is in the scope of a pen test, it might not be. But that, I think it's about it. There are some, not a lot, but there are like... Okay, so I chatted with some pen testers, like, and every time I chat, I kind of ask the question, like, so how many physical pen tests did you do where you had to either like phone the company and try to social engineer them, or actually go to the company and try to social engineer them? Not a lot of pen testers do that. Some do, but that's like not a lot. Usually that's not in the scope of pen tests for most pen tests. Yeah, I'm not going to throw any statistics around, but yeah, I would say... Yeah, it's good to know, but at the end of the day, technical skills is used more often. And again, it's good to have somebody on the team who knows how to do it if that's needed. I read Hacking, the Art of Exploitation, the Shellcoder's Handbook. Thank you, Hacking, the Art of Exploitation. That's the book I was thinking about last stream when somebody asked me about it. A Backhunter's Diary. I need more to understand this. No, you need more practice. If you read these 3 books and you do not understand it, you need practice. You need hands-on practice, seriously. Like, ask yourself, how much practice did you get after reading the books? Reading 3 books of this size is like, what? 25 hours. You should have, in that case, at least 100 hours, I would say, of manual practice on top of reading the books. So if you do not have 100 hours of practice of exploitation yet, you should get that and focus on that. Do not fall into the trap of reading about what you want to do. Do what you want to do. That's the most important thing here. Do you have any Garmin devices? Nice one. No, I don't. Yes, some of my family members might have... Nothing writes, hey, can you make a recommendation of books to read to understand assembly language and their modern exploitation mitigation? First, see my previous thing about reading, my previous answer. The other thing is, at the end of the day, you will have to read or just browse through Intel manuals, Manual 1 and Manual 3. I know they look scary, but this is where all the information is. Now, but this is not what helps you understand it. What helps you understand assembly is working with assembly. So go and write assembly, go and read assembly, go and modify programs with assembly. That's the only way to understand assembly. I'm sorry, there's just like no way around it. And after you get that, you go and read the Intel manuals. Okay. Hey Zero, I'm already doing pwning, reversing, and CTFs, and I want to get myself in vulnerability research. Guide me, please. Okay. Do what you're doing on CTFs with a real application. Grab some real application and whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. It really does not matter which one. Something to start with. And treat it as a CTF challenge and hack it. Like, start doing it. That's like the only thing I can tell you right now. Have you purchased Sublime Text license? There's a free version? Okay, yeah, sorry, that was kind of like the reverse of a question. I think I like started with getting a license. I didn't know there was a free version. Okay, did I spend... Yeah. Here we go. That's probably not an answer you expected, but that's how it was, really. Do you have some books to recommend about application security? Currently, I'm reading Defensive Security Handbook. The Art of Software Security Assessment, as usual. But apart from that, nothing comes to my mind. I don't know. It's not that there aren't books like that, it's just that I cannot tell you anything out of the top of my head apart from The Art of Software Security Assessment. What's the web? What's your preferred method of learning all things? Books, videos, podcasts? No, doing, always doing. This is because, you know, every problem in life goes back to your childhood, right? So, okay, in my childhood, the problem was I couldn't read. I got a computer, I was 6 years old, I couldn't read yet. I knew the letters, but I couldn't read words. And I got like a copy of a book about Atari Basics. So I could read the letters, I didn't know what it said, so the only thing I could do is I could type the programs on the keyboard. Like, here's the letter on the keyboard. So I could do this, and then I could start experimenting with a program. Therefore, I never got a habit of reading. I got a habit of experimenting. And that's what got me through all my learning experience later on. So that's why I'm always repeating also, like, experiment. Do manual work. And the important thing here is that while doing this, you cannot do this if you do not have knowledge. So while doing this, get information from every possible source. For example, from a video on YouTube. For example, from a reference manual. For example, from the official specification. From a tutorial. From different code written in the same language. From like somebody else's application who is using the API you are learning, and so on. Every source of information, but focus on doing stuff. And yeah, again, do not limit yourself for types of information sources, but focus always on doing. When will you stream next time? Probably next Wednesday, unless like something comes up in my schedule, but probably next Wednesday, 8 p.m. CST, like Central Europe summertime. Any recommendation regarding literature about binary exploitation and and reverse engineering? No. Bruce Dank written a really cool book about reverse engineering a few years ago. I think that's Practical Reverse Engineering, so you might check it out. On top of that, no. Again, focus on doing. What is your opinion on Fin7 group? Inverted E, no opinion. I even don't know what is. It's like this. If you start asking me about things which are going on in the real world about hacking, like for example a hacking group which does amazing stuff technically, maybe not morally, right? Or if you ask me about like some O-days which are flying around, I will not know, because this is not my area of expertise. I'm strictly focusing on technical hacking. So this is where I'm basically, have kind of tunnel vision where there are people who are focusing on like knowing what groups are around, what exploits they are using, and so on. And you probably need to direct these questions to them, because they will be able to tell you. I just cannot. I do not have the knowledge. Zero Rise, please add Windows buffer exploitation and heap to your Okay, let's add Windows as well. Narrow2K writes, is free version of IDA worth it, or should I stay with Ghidra? Well, it's free, right? So you can check it out. I mean, yeah, it's like, the question is it worth your time? Yes, it is worth your time. Ghidra works fine too, but yeah, check it out, because why not? Maybe you will like it more, and maybe you'll somehow get a license. Like, you know, buy it, or like your employer will buy it for you. But yeah, it's free, just check it out. You can also look at the demo. They have different features, like IDA demo. Okay, do you think Intel wrote all the instruction in their volume 1.3? If not, how to understand the hidden instructions not documented on volume 1 to 3? That's probably instructions are in volume 2. So it's like this. You might want to look at AMD manuals as well. They document some stuff which Intel did not document. Apart from that, look on the internet. There are some write-ups about like hidden instructions, like hidden MSR registers and other stuff like that. For example, it was pretty, like 10 years ago, well, no, that was even 15 years ago, it was a pretty cool thing that somebody discovered MSR registers in AMD CPUs, which allowed you to do memory breakpoints on ranges. That was pretty cool. Most of the CPU instructions which are not documented, they don't do too much fancy stuff. It's not like you run this instruction and suddenly you get a 3D desktop or something. No, it's like they are basically like either test instructions or they set like copies of other instructions which set flags differently or something, and that's it. So yeah, there we go. But there are some write-ups. Look for SandSifter. SandSifter is a project you might want to look around it. What did they discover? What did they find? Because they were looking especially for that kind of stuff. Where do you work at? I work at Google. And if you go to, again, my genveil.live, there is, there is this like, who are you? You can take a look. I'm a technical lead / manager at an information security team, and I'm, well, in an internal vulnerability research team, basically. There we go. Okay, that's enough. We answered every question. Thank you for being here, folks, with me, and see you next week. Thank you to Foxtrot Charlie for being my moderator today. And yeah, that's it for today. So yeah, thank you for HTB folks again for giving me the VIP subscription, so I could play with PwnBox on the live stream and allowing me to live stream about it. That was actually pretty cool, and we'll do that again next time. So thank you everyone, have a great evening, day, and see you next week. Happy hacking, happy programming, and I'm going to leave you with some music as usual. Bye bye.